my first interview, it was with ANC and they invited me for an interview for Shop Talk. And I remember those professionals, writers and producers, you know what the first question they asked me? Welcome to another episode of Kamila Penguin Academy, your place to learn social media marketing for small business owners. Hi, my name is Mimi and I own Kamila's 4am Art. We turn real flowers into wearable art, and last December, I was featured in Forbes. Well, my art was featured in Forbes. Me specifically, I was featured in Inquirer, which is a national television in the Philippines, and I have several guest appearances for different television programs and magazines. So, if you are small business owners and you wanted to learn how these media outlet can feature you or will feature you, then stay here. And no, we didn't pay for any of this. We didn't have the budget anyways. So, aside from the quote-unquote fame, well, there's no fame in being featured there. I don't think it contributed to any fame whatsoever, but some of the media feature that I got definitely produced sales for me, sometimes double or 3 times the average. But often, media feature is a form of authority, especially, for example, if you have a website. At the end of your website, you can put their art as seen in Forbes, Inquirer, CNN, ANC, and whatnot. So it will definitely help your customers to buy from you because it builds trust and it builds authority. So, as a small business owner, you might be lost. How can this media outlet feature you? And no, we didn't have the media budget to, well, we can pay for advertisements, but we didn't have that budget. So all of these media features, they are all for free. And this is how you're gonna do it. So if you're a small business owner, being featured in media is 2 ways. First, you got lucky. Meaning to say, some writers were browsing through the net and stumbled upon your Instagram or your Facebook. But I wouldn't call it as luck per se, meaning to say they just suddenly find their way to you, because you kind of need to prepare some things for the right equation to happen, for that luck to come in. And second, I wrote to those writers to feature us. So any of these two, it still needs preparation from your side. First, and the most important thing you need to remember is, these writers don't actually care about your product. You know what they care about? They care about stories. Yes, they care about stories because stories sell. Remember, they also have their own agenda, and their agenda is to produce stories for their newspapers or for their program to sell. And people buy stories. Let me repeat that several times. People buy stories. So for small business owners, the first big step that you need to do for a media outlet to reach out to you, or for them to give you that space for advertisement or that space for to be featured, you need to start telling your stories. Because if you only post about your product on your Instagram and Facebook, no one's gonna be interested. Who's interested in your necklace? Who's interested in your bracelet? No one. So as early as now, if you can accept that fact and you can actually give more value, or you can actually start sharing something that they can share to or they can resonate with, then you're gonna make the equation, you're gonna make the proper scenario wherein people can start finding your product. So first and foremost, write your story. Maybe here. Can you edit here? Write your stories. Tell your stories. So, what are the kind of stories that you can start telling? Number 1, your origin story as a business. I think I have several videos here that I've talked about storytelling, but let me just re-enumerate here. If you wanted to learn more, browse through our videos and you can see some of my videos there explaining how you can tell stories for your small business. I remember my first interview, it was with ANC and they invited me for an interview for Shop Talk. And I remember those professionals, writers and producers, you know what the first question they asked me? And you know what they used as a teaser for that program? my origin story. So they asked me, why did you open this business? And I told them about the story of me waking up at 4 a.m. because it has been a habit since I was 7 years old. And therefore, after college, I still wake up at 4 a.m. and I have nothing to do. And therefore, I picked up a hobby that turned into business. And you know what? That's essentially what they showed during the teaser, because that's what sells. That is what gains attention. So start by telling your story. Whenever you start telling your story more, your origin story, the motivation behind your business, the motivation behind your designs, the struggles that you've faced, the struggles you've overcome, and how did you overcome it, then you make the perfect equation or the perfect scenario for the writers to stumble upon your page. So again, this is not about luck. This is about you preparing the scenario that they will find you. You preparing the scenario that they would be attracted to your page. So, start telling your stories, and then the luck will increase and the writers will come in. And the second part is hard work. So, of all the features that I had for my small business, maybe around 70% of them is a product of my hard work. Yes, oftentimes, you really need to make an effort for those opportunities to start knocking your door, because otherwise, nothing's gonna happen. So here's what I want you to do. First, go to your competitors, especially those who are more popular than you, and especially those who have more media exposure than you are. This is something that I always do. So I go to their page and I search for all of their media features, and I search for the name of the writers, because it means that that writer is interested in telling the stories of this particular industry. Beauty, for example, for me it's beauty, it's art, it's accessories. I would go to the public pages of these writers. Usually for Filipino writers, they're more active on Instagram, but I heard that for American writers, they're more active in Twitter. It depends. So I would go to their Instagram and I would send them this message. Maybe so. First, I will tell my name, I will tell what I do, and then tell them that I saw your article about this and I wanted to reach out to see if you're interested in featuring my story. Because again, you don't want them to feature your product, you want them to feature your story. And then I will put here the latest achievement that I have, because it will give an authority to me. At least they know that they wouldn't waste their time in reading my message. So, for example, my recent feature is Forbes. I will put here, I'm a small business, but even though I'm small, I was featured in Forbes, or I was featured in Inquirer, and it would be a big help for my business if, for example, your media outlet can feature my story as well. And then I would start writing about my story, and if you wanted to know more, please let me know. So, this way, in this template, you can actually tell them that you have a story to show them, because to be honest, the writers, they also need to find good stories as a material. Some of them even have quotas of how many posts or how many articles they need to come up with in a certain number of months. Some of them are part-times that gets paid when they produce a good story. So they're actually actively looking for people who has story to tell. You just need to give them an incentive to feature you instead of someone else. So there's two elements again, okay? Find the right writer. If you are into beauty and you start sending messages to the sports writers, it doesn't make sense. So aside from going to your competitors page, you can also check out the media outlets page themselves. For example, if you wanted to be featured in Forbes, and check out the articles related to your industry. If you are in arts, accessories, and then check out the writers. Look at the articles and check who the writers are, and then start messaging them. And then when you message them, start telling your stories. So in conclusion, if you wanted to be featured by these media outlets, you need to start telling your stories. I think this is a common mistakes of small business owners. When you go inside their Instagram and Facebook, don't worry, this is something that I also did before. You always see them posting about their products, and no one really is interested in your product more than you are. So if you want people to go into your product, give them value, inspire, entertain, And the easiest way for you to give them value is to tell your stories, because stories are something that they can resonate with, especially if you know how to write your stories in a way that it is not just about you telling your life, but about giving lessons or making them relate to your product. Actually, I think last week, one of my posts on Facebook went viral, and it opened a lot of opportunities for me. If you wanted to learn how to write, well, there is no perfect formula on what post might go viral, but at least there's certain framework that you can follow to increase your chances of getting that viral post. If you wanted to learn more, join our Wednesday class. We have free class every Wednesday, or you can go through my videos here in YouTube. I'm just gonna start uploading more free contents for you. But if you wanted to learn more, we also have paid membership here. And it's every Wednesday. I meet with them, with my business partner, and I teach them whatever we know about social media marketing and business management. Thank you guys for watching another episode of Kamila Penguin Academy. If you like it, please subscribe, like, and comment down. If you have questions, write it down and we will reply in the comment section. Also, click that bell button and you will be notified if a new video comes out. If you want more information, more tips, and you wanted to learn more from Kamila Penguin Academy, please follow us on FB group as Kamila Penguin Academy. We're there. And connect with us on Instagram. I'm at Kamila's 4am art and Harry is at Harry_Kamila. See you!